An everyday place where we talk about pressure is blood pressure. It's really important that you get on top of your blood pressure if your blood pressure is high and begin managing it early. And one important thing people don't often get about blood pressure, I take blood pressure every day, blood pressure medicine every day. That blood pressure medicine doesn't cure my high blood pressure. It manages my high blood pressure. And so what do we mean by high blood pressure? What do we mean by blood pressure in general? So if you look at a plot of your blood pressure, you've got a top and a bottom to it. And the top is called the systolic. And so your pressure in your blood goes up, and it's not a sine wave, but it pulses and it goes down to some level and up and down to some level and up and down to some level. And with the beating of your heart, we'll talk more about the heart in just a second. And when they measure your blood pressure, basically they increase the pressure outside the body, right? That's what they do. They squeeze on your body, right? What they're doing is they're squeezing the blood vessels closed. And as they squeeze the blood vessels, they're raising the outside pressure, making it so it's harder and harder for these pulses to go through. And so as they do this, right, as they squeeze, the level here that you can go down to goes up until you hit this point where the peak no longer goes high enough to cause the blood to flow. And that's what they're listening for when they're listening on your inside of your elbow. They're listening for when did that stop? Or actually, what they actually do is they go past it and then slowly let the pressure, outside pressure, decrease. And when they hear your blood first start to go through, that's when you're at the systolic. All right, that's your maximum blood pressure. And then when they get down here, you no longer hear the pulsing because now the blood can just flow. Right? As long as when you get above here, you hear the pulsing. And if you can actually watch an old time when you can see the needle pulse as the blood pulse goes through, and you'll see the needle start to pulse when you hit your systolic as the pressure drops, external pressure drops, and then it'll stop pulsing once you hit your diastolic. And so it's important to understand this and to manage your blood pressure and get on top of that early in life if you have issues. And there are a lot of there are a lot of things that contribute to this. Salt increases your blood pressure. Stress increases your blood pressure. Lack of exercise increases your blood pressure. A number of different things increase your blood pressure. In terms of the heart, we've got our lungs, we've got our heart, which sits up here around our lungs, and we've got the blood vessels in our body. So the left half of the heart is what's responsible for sending blood out into the body. And then that comes back into the right half of the heart. And so there's a chamber here that receives it, and this is a pump. And this right half of the heart pumps the blood into the lungs where it picks up oxygen. And it flows into this receiving chamber on the left half of the heart and then goes into the main pump. And this pump goes out through the aorta and into the body. And so basically from left half through the body to right half, from right half through the lungs to left half. And all of that is basically how your blood is circulating all the time. And the capillaries are these really fine um, blood vessels, which is where the exchange between the rest of your body and your blood happens, right? And so as you get into the capillaries, that's where nutrients are flowing back and forth. Nutrients are flowing out, waste is flowing in, all kinds of things are happening. Oxygen's flowing out. Here, oxygen is flowing in. It's really important that you have enough oxygen flowing in. There are a lot of things that can affect that. It's really important that you have enough oxygen flowing out, right? All kinds of things are important in this whole system. Um, and then the other thing to think about is from the top of your body to your bottom, the blood pressure is different because of the whole depth thing, right? So from your head to toe, it changes simply because of the depth. Okay, that's it about the blood pressure and the circulatory system.